All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we're going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel. Salutation and much love to y'all came out there pushing out this word in true sincerity. Brothers from Great Millstone, Tampa. I'm the brother Ash. And we're just going to go into some articles, up current events and go in the spirit. But you see here, this is an article from, what's today, 16th? 18th, okay, 2 days ago. It says on RT, Ukraine's defeat may lead to World War III, EU states Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of Poland has urged Germany to send tanks to Ukraine. So pretty much they're saying, that if, well, I'll just read it. One of their quotes, it says, the defeat of Ukraine may become a prelude to World War III. So today there is no reason to block support for Kyiv and postpone matters indefinitely. See, what these people don't understand, it's already begun. This is biblical prophecy anyway. I got this other article here on the Post, or what is it, unheard.com. And this guy here is from France, Emmanuel Todd. World War III has already begun, and you can go into it. But he's pretty much just saying that, it's obvious that this Ukraine conflict has led to World War III. And I have a quick example before we bring out scriptures, how World War I started, all right? It wasn't just, it wasn't World War one day after the next, it was, all right, well, here's the timeline. 1914, June 28, Archduke Francis Ferdinand is assassinated. Next thing you know, or the same day, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia, beginning World War I. Now, on July 28, 1914, they didn't call it World War I when Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. But what, then next month, a couple days later, Germany invaded Luxembourg, so on and so forth. And then Austria invaded Russia. Battle in France, Germany, naval blockade. Then 1915, so almost a year later, the Germans sank a submarine full of American passengers. Italy declares war on Austria. And then years later, let's see what year it was. It was, so it started in 1914, but America didn't officially get involved in the war until 1917. So almost 3 years later, America got declared war on Germany. But the war really started 3 years prior to that. So just because America hasn't sent troops, okay, to fight, and declared war, doesn't mean World War hasn't started. As you just seen in World War I, it started in 1914. America didn't officially get involved. I mean, they were sending supplies and whatnot and funding the war, but just like they're doing now, they're sending supplies to Ukraine and funding them, but they didn't get officially involved until 3-4 years later, or 3 years later. But hey, this is biblical prophecy. Go ahead, whatever you got.
So Revelation chapter 11, in verse 14, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
And that third woe was the Third World War. All right, we had World War I, World War II, and World War III. And that's biblically prophesied. This was in Albert Pike's plan, which he wrote. How the three world wars would go. But this is actually the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's plan. And this is going to be the war, the end all war, like Isaiah chapter 9 says. This. We'll get that real quick. Because this is going to be the war, the end all wars. Because there won't be no war in the kingdom of heaven. This is going to be the last war ever fought on the planet Earth. Imagine that.
Right.
And there's been non-stop wars for hundreds of years now, thanks to Esau Edom being in power.
So it's Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Yep. So going into the war that's going to be fought now is going to be by thermal missile technology. And going into that second war, which was past, that was World War II. This World War III is going to be everybody against so-called America. Mm-hmm. No more Allied powers with the
Axis.
Britain and U.S. finally jumped in. Even Soviet Union was part of Allied powers.
Yeah, at one point in World War I, they were on the opposite side though. Mm-hmm. Or it might have been World War II because they ended up switching sides because that's what a lot of people did. Like Italy, they were fighting with the Nazis, and then they flipped over. That's just gonna happen again. Yes. All these people gonna be fighting with America, and then they're gonna turn their backs, pursuing the Revelation 17. Mm-hmm. So hey, this is unfolding beautifully. Everything that the scripture said is, now we understand how the beast ultimately is gonna hate the whore, or we got a good picture of it, so to say. We got a good idea of how that's gonna go down. All right, because what America has thrown all these sanctions on Russia, and that's affecting Europe, which is the beast. The EU is getting affected by it. And I think I've seen an article the other day said that these sanctions are uncalled for. I think it was in Africa, in South Africa or something like that. But because everybody's getting affected, because Russia, they're supplying the oil. You know, they're the big suppliers, so it's affecting everybody. Natural gas, you know. Now with the BRIC nations coming up, you know, everybody's like, man, fuck America. And it's only a matter of time before the America's allies turn too.
Yep, I got you. This Obadiah, only one chapter, Obadiah 1 verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that are at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So all the men of the confederacy going to those allies, you know, even the ones that you take care of, you know, they going into these other nations that so-called America welfares, they're going to turn and go against this devil, you know.
That was the article Spirit. It was at the bottom. U.S. anti-Russia bill totally unwarranted. South Africa prime or foreign minister. Go ahead.
Yep. So going to all the agreements and treaties you had, that goes into the place being broken up. You know, the toes, the iron mixed with miry clay. You're not cleaving one to another no more. You know, they got the weak nations. You know, not holding up the end of the bargain.
Yeah.
You know, and not be able to produce for the strong nations. And ultimately, this kingdom's ultimately set up to fight against itself. You know, Esau rising up against Esau, because that's really what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what all the world wars have been about. Esau and Esau crime, which is nothing new, because that's what happened during the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and now this is the Roman Empire revived. Same thing's happening again. You know, the beast is risen up, but it's remember it was wounded, but it was healed, but it still got that cut on him. You know, it might have healed up, but it's still, you know, that's still the soft spot, so to say. And there ain't no healing it this time. Go ahead.
Yep. So here, as you said it, this is Mark chapter 3 and verse 24. Red letter Yahweh starts speaking and says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
In America, well, as a whole, you know, the beast and the NATO and the EU is a kingdom. But even in America, which is Rome, you know, reincarnated, what? They're divided. America's divided, and so is the beast. The beast is divided amongst themselves, and then they're eventually going to be divided towards the whore. You know, they're going to come together, separate their differences, like France and Germany. They're not going to have beef with each other. They're going to have beef with America, because America's over here, as they had been in World War I and World War II, chilling, while everybody Europe is getting trashed. You know, through millions dead, getting run over by tanks. Well, guess what? Now America's gonna have to go through that.
So Mark chapter 3 and verse 25, it says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
The house of Edom.
Verse 26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but half an end. You know, so that's why the Lord gave these devils this weapon technology, because they're used against themselves. You know, they're going to be divided and split up, just like the Lord did with us, as it's ultimately going to the curses falling upon our enemies. You know, Deuteronomy 30:7, you know, so they're going to rise up and what? They're going to shoot missiles at each other, ultimately shoot missiles at so-called America.
And look at this, another article. This one came out today. Germany indirectly involved in Ukraine conflict. And if you go into World War I and World War II, who are the main culprits? Germany.
Exactly.
So you keep your eye on Germany as well. But we know, what do you have? You got back in Ezekiel, or?
I can get Ezekiel, I'd rather 17.
Go to Joel 2, or was it 3, where it's a gathering valley?
Yep.
Because we know that, just like World War I and World War II, these NATO, EU nations are going to get it kicking off, but something's going to happen in the Middle East via Israel, the state of Israel and Iran, that's going to really set things off. You know, that's going to be the ultimate catalyst to have shit just explode at a you know, that's when it's going to be declared world war. You know, right now it's just war with Ukraine and Russia. But as soon as all these nations are going to be involved, where all these troops are going to have to fight, that's when the drafts are going to come. And like the second Ezra 16 says, the brides or the grooms going to die in the wars. All right, the virgins have no helpers. A lot of niggas is going to get sent over and die. Okay.
It's Joel chapter 3, start at top verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time will I bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. In verse 2 it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yehoshaphat.
Which is the Middle East, the Levant, pretty much from Egypt all the way up to Turkey. Okay. And, you know, Syria, all that area it's been hot for decades now, you know. That's been the place of conflict for decades now, going all the way back to the late 80s. You know, Syria, you know, Iraq, Libya, even all that area too. You know, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, all that shit is in turmoil out there, man. Them people, they've been living in hell for decades. But that's going to be the place of great judgment. You know, the Yahweh's judgment outside of America, you know.
Joel 3 verse 2, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will lead them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. You know, so that's why, again, the Lord's ultimately doing this, because this is the Lord bringing us back together. You know, as these nations in Psalm 83rd chapter, they were confederate against us. Well, the Lord's confederate against you. All right, all you other nations that watched, you know, Jay go into slavery and catch the hell we've been catching. You know, the Lord's going to bring all your nations to judge you in one place, and all at one time. And even going to that, you know, you're all gathered together to fight against each other, right? Really fight against so-called America. The Lord's going to come and return and quiet all that. You know, with his return in the world, he calls it UFO. You know, it's gonna try to fight against the Lord, and it's not gonna work. You know, so ultimately, it's all just bad news for this world. All right, which we've been trying to warn you. All right, so we're not passing those on down, but you took as a joke. You know.
And ultimately, all this is going to lead to nuclear destruction. As you see here, another article from today, EU, which is the beast, sets up nuclear stockpile on Russian border. Finland will be home to a strategic reserve for atomic and chemical energy response, which we know most of them missiles ain't going to Russia. They coming to America. So they can stock them up all they want on the Russian border. Soon they're going to be on Russia's side. So, because it's going to get to a point, think about it, it's going to get to a point, it's going to be so bad that everyone's going to turn on America. Yeah. That's how bad. And who knows who's going to be the president by then, because this nigga might be impeached soon. Mm-hmm. You know, now that the Republicans got the House, or the Senate, whatever one it is, they're trying to impeach this nigga, which they found classified documents, just like they were the Mar-a-Lago with Trump. Oh, we found these classified. Well, now they found all these documents at Joe Biden's crib next to his Corvette. so where's the hypocrisy? You know, so if he gets impeached or croaks, you know, you already know who's gonna be president. Oh, Kamala Harris. What's his name? Montel Williams, bitch. But this is World War III is gonna end with nuclear thermal missiles, man. Destruction of Babylon. All right, in the end of Esau's kingdom. Get some Joel 2, get the missiles.
So it's Joel chapter 2, and start at top verse 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound the alarm in my holy mountain. And that's what the Lord's doing. He raises up prophets, those watchmen. Because this is who we're really here to warn, is our people. Telling you all this stuff that's coming. All right, but again, a lot of our people, they're going to stay asleep, you know. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, it is nigh at hand. A day of gloominess, a day of darkness and of gloominess.
Yeah, and that's the day of the Lord. When the Lord returns is when that dark and gloomy day is going to be, because it's going to be chariots zapping people. It's going to be, and nuclear missiles going to be flying through the sky on that day. It's going to be a dreadful day for the world, but it's going to be a day of salvation for the elect. You know, yeah, it's going to be, you know, scary, so to say, because, you know, shit, ain't nobody ever experienced this wrath that's coming. But we have faith that we're going to be able to endure through all that, so we're not worried about it.
Joel 2 verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
That's talking about the missiles. It's not talking about the Chinese military.
Right.
We're talking about the missiles because they're only going to be used once. They're going to be used at the end of this war, you know, and never going to be seen again. There ain't going to be no stockpiles left over. Every single missile is going to blow up.
Yep.
So that's why it's going to be like a day like no other. Because nobody's ever seen because really they can't test these bombs. Yeah, they can test them to like 1 megaton, you know. But once they're gonna shoot to America, there's no testing those. That shit'll fuck wherever they test them. It's gonna have radiation fall out. Even if they test it in the middle of nowhere, nobody for hundreds of miles, it's gonna fuck shit up. It's gonna leave radiation everywhere. The wind's gonna take it, you know. So they can't test the full capability of these missiles. So they don't know. The megatons and all the destruction, those are all theories.
Yeah.
They don't exactly know what's the capability because they've never tested it. Those are all speculations. You know, so it's gonna, and the Lord's gonna put His Spirit on them. So it's gonna be 100 times worse than what they expect. So what they say, oh, one warhead can blow up the state of Texas, man. One warhead is gonna do more damage than that, and it's gonna be hella warheads in those missiles, man. 15 and up. You know. Who knows? That's what they say, but who knows how many? Because the warheads are getting smaller and smaller. Yeah. The technology is getting smaller and smaller. So shit, who knows how many they're gonna be able to put in there?
So Joel 2 verse 3 it says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape. Nothing shall escape them. You know, so when these missiles touch down, ain't nobody gonna get spared. You know, when besides if you're a part of the elect, get beamed up before the missiles hit. You know, that goes into with the wrath of the Lord, spare none, old, young. All right, these missiles gonna devour anything. You know, and going to their propulsion system, they're moving hypersonic. You know, and they're very accurate. You know, it's good to say none shall miss their mark. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why it's going like a time like no other, because again, this technology never been used like the brothers get into. You know, so the devastation is gonna be even to a magnitude no one can even imagine. Even the elect. It says in Revelation 15 chapter, they're going to be afraid. It's going to be so crazy. They got delivered, you know, but they're up in the ship looking down, saying,
frightened,
goodness gracious, you know, how bad it was down there, you know?
Yeah, like Brother said, they're not going to miss their mark, man. The Lord's going to put the Spirit to guide them. No missile defense well, it's going to get into it. They're going to climb the walls and whatnot. No missile defense system, Patriot, anti-defense, none of that shit's going to work, man. But here's another article. It says, who will blink first? Is nuclear war between Russia and the U.S. possible? Absolutely. It's biblical. It says some believe the standoff between Moscow and Washington could eventually see atomic weapons used. Yep. And that's absolutely correct. So if you look at these articles, they're talking about nuclear war. Remember, people used to laugh at the sign we got, the nuclear sign, the missile sign, ICBM, and it says USSR. People would laugh, scoff at it. USSR doesn't exist anymore. Now, where they at? Where's the scoffers at now? Once Russia invaded Ukraine, you know, people that have heard this word, they were like, "Oh shit!" They was clenching their assholes, like shit. They're right. But this is what's coming, man. Death and destruction. All right, the scriptures say the Lord's coming with great wrath, man, great anger, to render his rebukes of flames of fire, man. These are his weapons of his indignation. Go ahead.
Yep. Joel 2 verse 4 it says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so they run, or so shall they run. Right.
So that power
that
they have. Mm-hmm. And you know, when in the time of war, what would they put on their horses? They would put armor on their horses. You know, metals, so they shine and whatnot. That same thing, the metal on the chariot, or not chariots, but the nukes.
Yeah. The iron weapon.
The iron. Yep.
Joel 2 verse 5, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a fire of it's like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble.
Yeah, you're gonna hear them missiles, man. People gonna be, especially people out there in the Midwest, they're gonna see them silos open up out there in their farms.
Yeah.
And from anywhere, who knows where the missiles are everywhere, man. Esau out here in America got them missiles everywhere. You know, they're all strategically placed, but they can't all put them in one place. You know, so you're gonna see holes open up in the ground, missiles come out of there, and then boosh, and then at the same time you're gonna see missiles coming too. You're gonna hear the sirens. Seek shelter. For what? You can't, like you said, you can't. The scripture said you can't hide from them, right? Or run from them.
Can't escape, yeah.
Yeah, can't escape them, man. You can't escape a nuclear missile in 30 minutes. That's how much time you're gonna have. So what you gonna do? What people gonna do? They just gonna have to hug each other, and then they gonna be calling on sweet Jesus. He ain't gonna be there though. But at the same time, the chariots gonna be zapping people. It's gonna be a bad day for you people, man. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, finishing Joel 2:5, it says, as a strong people set in battle array. Verse 6, before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness.
Yeah, because they're gonna be through these people. Oh my, it's because think about it, when we get to that point, these people have been going through hell, straight up hell, chaos in the streets, martial law, war going on, famines, people raping, all kind of shit, killing each other over slices of bread. People gonna have chips in them, buying and selling in their little safe cities. They're gonna be the ones freaking out the most because they're gonna get the update quick. Yeah. The people out here fending for themselves, they might not even have internet, or no access to the internet or radio, so they're just gonna see the missiles coming, and it'll be over for them.
Joel 2:7, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war.
Yeah, that's the missile defense systems, man. None of the missile defense systems is gonna work, man. And hell, those are missiles too. Yeah. If they shoot missiles at the missiles, them missiles might shoot off and just start fucking. Every missile's gonna blow up, man. Whether it's a regular bomb or a nuclear bomb, all these bombs are gonna. There ain't gonna be no bombs left, man. Where we coming around in the kingdom of heaven, and there's a nuclear bomb there just laying covered in dust.
It says, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks.
Mm-hmm. Because these things are, Esau's got that GPS targeting to the pinpoint of a dime. They can hit a dime with their damn technology now, but that's all inspired through the Lord. That's why, the Lord's going to put the spirit on them. Ain't going to be no malfunctions, no errors, none of that. And if if they shut down the missile, the angels can do that. They can shut them down and shut them up or turn them on. So that's an easy thing for the Lord to do. Had them hit their targets.
Yep. Joel 2:8, it says, neither shall one thrust another.
Yeah, they're not gonna hit each other. The missile defense system's not gonna hit them. All these missiles are gonna do their work, do what they were created to do.
It says they shall walk every one in his path. And that's what they say. It comes from a far country. Mm-hmm. The intercontinental ballistic missiles. Apostle did a video not too long ago, Apostle Har, how far these things can go, thousands of miles on one trip.
5,000.
Yep.
And that's supersonic speed. Shit. A little faster than the speed of sound. So by the time you hear it, it's too late. That shit already passed you. Shit. Like when you go to an air show, they got flying the jets around. You'll see the jets, and then you hear because he's going faster than the sound. And the missiles are gonna go even faster. The jets don't even go that fast. No. And their glider, what's that missile called? The glider, something like that, where it can maneuver.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I forgot what it's called, but yeah, people gonna see them come out of the water too from submarines.
I think it was Vanguard.
The Vanguard, yep. And then you got the Poseidon. They're gonna Russia. Who knows? They're probably sitting right there in the Gulf of Mexico right now as we speak, or around Cuba and shit. Cause remember, they can go undetected. Them Russian submarines, them motherfuckers go undetected. And they got missiles on board.
Oh
yeah. Anything else?
No, I'll just finish it out. Okay. Joel 2:8, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Mm-hmm. So even if you do hit it with a defense system, it'll still keep going. Because like brother said, the angel's going to be on those missiles. The Spirit of the Lord's going to be on them to get where they got to go.
And see, it's going to be chaos because the people are going to shoot missiles on America, and they're going to be trying to fight the Lord. Yeah. So it's going to be chaotic, But hey, we're going to get this. Once we see them chariots, man, Jay going to be crying tears of joy because we know it's over. So who cares what's going on? They can fight whatever they want to fight. We know this game over. It's time for us to win now. Game over for Babylon and Esau society, all the wickedness and including the heathens. It's over for them. Now it's time for the righteousness to reign supreme on the land.
I'll just read 3 more. We do it. Joel 2 verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. So to get past who's going into it. All this defense system, you're not gonna have enough time. They're moving too fast. By the time you get the warning, you're already gonna see these devils already in their bomb shelters. They already shit.
Yeah, they're gonna be in there weeks before the missiles come. Yeah. If they're not there already.
Yeah.
But like with the Lord open up the windows of heaven when the rains came, well, He's gonna open up the windows again for the missiles, which is the fire.
Joel 2 verse 10. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. There you go.
Yeah, the earth's gonna reel to and fro like a drunkard, man. Once these missiles hit, they're gonna the whole earth. That's why you don't want to be on this earth, even if you're not in America, because this shit's gonna be. Earth is gonna shake, earthquakes, tsunamis, the fallout, radiation, all this shit, man. Who knows? We just know we don't want to be here. Right. We want to be in the chariots looking down and rejoicing with Yahushua, man. And then we receive our crowns, however long that takes. Who knows how long it is? Scripture don't tell us how long it's going to be till we come back down. It might be 100 years, could be 10 years. Who knows? But what we do know is when we come down, we come in to put everybody that's still alive in subjection. Whether all these countries that don't get directly hit by missiles, they'll probably keep going. Set up little civilizations. Because shit's gonna go into the ancient world type shit. Everything's gonna, the technology and shit, none of that shit's gonna work anymore. Their internet, they just gonna be clueless as hell, and then see the chariots come, or the men of the Lord come down with Yahushua to put chains on them. And the elites, they might think, oh yeah, we survived the nuclear, and then doors gonna be kicked in, or we just appear into the room with them as they're talking behind them, just put a foot up his ass. Old devils. Go ahead.
Finishing Joel 2 and 10. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. One more verse 11, it says, and Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. The day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it?
The day of the Lord is great and very terrible. A dark and gloomy day, that's the day of the Lord. So that's why the scriptures say, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it unto you? Because people think, oh, Lord, sweet Jesus going to come back and everything's going to be all right. Well, when the Lord comes back, there's going to be death and destruction on a global scale. Mass killing, mass death. Death that you ain't never seen before. And that's leading up to it is going to be time like no other. And then the icing on the cake is going to be when the Lord returns. And that'll be the day the missiles blow. That's it. Okay. So with that, Lord's willing, this is edifying. So next time, we're going to give all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, and Shalom. Much love to the elect out there. Shalom.